In this section, I'm going to talk about some of the new audio features in Media Composer and Symphony. So if I'm looking at my timeline here, the first thing is that there's actually a track panel here, and I open that up and I'm exposed to a number of the audio features. One of the great things is that we've added was the ability to turn waveforms on a track by track basis. And the waveforms are cached, and so now as I zoom in or zoom out, the waveforms are maintained. That's a great new feature. I can make those larger or smaller, right? Make that waveform larger or smaller. I'm holding the Control-Alt, K, makes them smaller. That's a great feature to be able to see the waveforms. I can solo or mute tracks on a track by track basis, and I can come in and now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to solo this track of my talent.
News, a worldwide web broadcast of the New York superhero.
Right, and what I'd like to do is I want to put a compressor limiter on his voice. We have Media Composer and Symphony both feature what's called RTAS plugins, real-time audio suite plugins. And I can put up to 5 on a track. So these are what comes stock in Media Composer and Symphony, right? You could add any more that you would like. And so I'm going to come into my compressor limiter and drop my compressor limiter on. And now here is my RTAS compressor limiter, the exact compressor limiter that comes with Pro Tools. So if I'm going to put a mark in and a mark out and I hit play,
breaking news,
it's going to cycle that clip
of the New York
and I can adjust live. Right, while and that clip will just keep looping and I can make adjustments as I go.
New York superhero who calls himself Kick-Ass. It's about breaking news, a worldwide web broadcast of the New York superhero who calls himself Kick-Ass.
And so when I like what I've done, I can actually close it and I can add another one. So say I wanted to come in here and I wanted to add an EQ. So we have a really powerful EQ here, and I'm going to put the 7-band EQ. I can do the same thing. Leave my in and out marks.
Web broadcast of the New York
and now I can start
who calls himself Kick-Ass. It's about
so live while I'm working here.
Web broadcast of the New York superhero who calls himself Kick-Ass. It's about
start making some adjustments.
Breaking news, a worldwide web broadcast of the New York superhero who calls himself Kick-Ass. It's about
and now when I like it, I can actually save these and say I like this effect. I like drag and drop it to a bin and I can reuse it and I can say talent and reuse that effect at a later point. We have the audio suite plugins, so I can put these effects on a track by track basis. So if I wanted to just apply a specific effect on a clip, I can do that. An additional feature that's just added in Media Composer Symphony version 6 is actually 5.1 or 7.1 surround sound. So if I go to my audio mixer here, I can actually open this up. We feature 16-channel audio mixer. So I'm going to work with 8, and I'm going to mute my voiceover now, and then I can play this. Now this is my surround sound. I have a 5.1 mix in this sequence. And so what I'm going to do is I can actually pan the surround sound as I'm working here. I can now change the pan of my surround sound as I'm working. And if I go back and see what I've done, I can actually see my work and my mix. I can pan my surround sound live right inside of Media Composer. And that's just some of the new features in both Media Composer and Symphony.